and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I thought to talk to you today about my 2022 diamond painting, not resolutions, challenges, awareness, things I'd like to achieve in my craft in 2022. So I have two main things that I would like to achieve sort of throughout the whole year, throughout the whole of 2022. And then I do have one or two things that I would like to sort of do at the beginning of the year. But of course they won't last the whole year. So one of the things I would like to do at the beginning of the year is I would like to get my Minions diamond painting finished. This is the image. It is a huge one. It is, does it say the size on the box? Probably. It is 186 centimetres by 51. So it's very, very long. I started this, I think last year, might have even been the year before. I am up to about here. I'm sort of near this minion, but it's not yet finished. So I'm not quite halfway through. If I fold it gently, I'm not halfway through until I have finished the minion. So I have quite a bit to actually get finished. And one of my many things that I'm setting myself is I want this finished before I kit up another large painting, not including my Heaven and Earth designs. They're already kitted up. So a mini goal for the beginning of 2022 is to not kit up another large painting until this one is finished. And in order to achieve that, I'm making myself very aware and very conscious of the fact at this moment, apart from my Heaven and Earth designs, which are I keep them sort of separate in my mind, this is the only painting that I have kitted up at the moment. I have been planning my YouTube schedule. I have 3 different paintings that need to be de-kitted throughout January. So I'm conscious, that I might leave it a week or 2 before I actually kit up another one, which may take my attention away from the Minions so that I can try and get, a nice chunk done. And then I will still be doing some smaller paintings because I do very much like having one small and one big kitted up at the same time. I did find at the end of last year there was quite a bit of time where I was doing 40 by 50 paintings for my custom comparison. I was doing other small paintings mixed in. My large painting sort of waned off a little bit. Then I picked up and did a lot of Mr. Quackers to get him finished before the end of the year. And it seemed to be very, very busy with diamond paintings. And as much as I love having more than one on the go, that is a definite for me. But I think I'm going to try, and I say try, this isn't a set thing, but I'm going to try throughout the year to more have one large and one smaller. So the smaller may take my attention away, but then I will have a week or so to focus on the large one before I then maybe go back to a small one. Sometimes it may be a couple of weeks. A lot will depend on my YouTube schedule and whether it's been a while since I've kitted one up and things like that. But I'm going to try and scatter in and make sure that my large one gets a little bit of time in between each small one, because that's the way I really enjoy diamond painting, is to do, a week or so working on a big painting and then go and work on a small painting that gets finished and then go back to working on the big painting. So I'm going to try and make an effort to, my goal or my challenge is to get this one finished before I kit up another one. But I'm also conscious that throughout the year I would like to keep that pattern, but I recognise it may not happen, especially if I decide to do another comparison, which I'm sure there's at least one more already coming up at some point, but I still may try and do one comparison, do a week of the large painting, do one comparison. So I'm going to try and keep it up as much as I can. So that's sort of one of my ongoing, not throughout the year. My goal is to get the Minions painting finished before I kit up another large. So that's one. My two main goals throughout the year, and these may change, life happens. As I mentioned in my mammoth whip and chat on Sunday, which some of you may or may not have got through because it was extremely long and there's more to come. Things can happen throughout the year. You know, we can make resolutions, we can make goals. Something can happen in February, March, even November, and it just upsets the apple cart. That can be anything from new jobs, you know, surprise pregnancy, or even a planned pregnancy, illness, bereavement, anything can happen. And I think anybody that sets themselves goals or challenges needs to allow themselves to reevaluate those goals and challenges when faced with something that was not expected. And I do think you need to be able to revisit what you're planning, you know, what you want to do, if something happens that in effect upsets the apple cart, and you need to say to yourself, okay, would I still set this challenge or goal if I'd have known this was going to happen in the month of February? Would I still have set this goal last month? And if the answer is no, then change it. If the answer is yes, then there must be that place to sort of step and, you know, keep your challenge or goal going. I don't tend to set myself many, you know, sort of personal resolutions. There are things I'm trying to be conscious of, but I try to make that, you know, an all the time thing and an ever changing thing rather than this is what I'm going to do in 2022. For 2022, I have two main goals/challenges. One is in relation to my Heaven and Earth designs. These are, I don't know why I took on two projects and decided to do two rather than focusing on one, but I did. They've been started. I love doing them. My goal is to do a section on at least one or the other, on at least each of them once a month. So I plan to schedule that in, of course, with my whip and chats, but I want to make sure in the month of January I do at least one whip and chat with Mini Beautiful Light and one whip and chat with Supersized Little Dreamers Tree. That's my goal challenge for myself. I am also aware that I want these to be able to move on. So I may, you know, maybe when I've finished the Minions painting, I've finished the large one, maybe if I have a little gap before I kit up the next one of maybe a week or so, I might pull one of these into the conservatory, set it up on my dining table and work on that for a week in that little gap to give it that little extra push. But that's not my goal. That's just something that I would like to do. My goal is to make sure that I do at least one section on each per month. It would take me years to finish keeping that up, but for now that is a reasonable goal that I feel that I can achieve for 2022. If life happens and something happens to change that, then I'll reevaluate. But that is my goal for 2022, is my Heaven and Earth designs. And my second is more of a thought process and something that I'd like to do a little bit more. And that is when you have a painting, I'm just trying to see if I've got sort of one I can grab here. What have I got? So that's a mystery. That's a fox. Okay, so maybe if we go for you know, one of these round paintings. So I've got a few different round paintings here. What I want to be conscious of or try and do is change maybe some diamonds on some of these paintings and mix them up to be an AB or a glow in the dark, you know, and alter something that I've got as a kit to be something else. So that's my thought, is when I go to kit something up. So for example, this one, let's go for this one because it's here. We've got a tiger, it's purples. I've got some purple round AB here, 208. We actually have 208 in this painting. So I would switch out the 208 for the AB 208 and maybe bring in a little bit of bling. We've also got 995. No, there's only 996 in here, which actually is there. So we've also got 996. So a purple and a blue. So maybe if I kit this painting up this year, I will switch out those diamonds for some AB ones to bring a little bit of sparkle and see how the painting turns out. Say I've got some that are glow in the dark. I've got some neon ones as well here. They're not particularly numbered, but I could, you know, potentially match them up to being close enough to go, all right, actually I won't put an AB in. I'll find the closest match to this neon purple and I'll put some of those in. Could happen with multiple different ones. Say I've got a lot of white as well. Maybe I want to try, so this one's got 3865. It's a round. I've got 5200, which is pretty close. I might just mix up a few of those and actually not replace all of them, but just have it so that there's a scattering, a bit like, you know, starburst type scattering over the back. I've got another one there that I could potentially do it with, and these are just looking at my small ones. So yeah, what I want to do, my second challenge to myself / goal / you know, forefront of my mind for 2022 is to alter up some paintings, or at least think about whether it will work with each painting I go to kit up. So whenever I go to kit up a painting, whether it's one that I've chosen to do for maybe a particular comparison, or whether it be one, maybe not the comparison, but when I, you know, decide to kit up one of my smaller paintings, or maybe even one of my bigger ones, if they don't come with an AB, to consciously think, do I want to switch up any to include some ABs instead? Maybe starting off just changing one, maybe changing two, maybe changing none. It will purely depend on the picture, but I want to start having that conscious effort where I at least think about changing them. Think, do I want to change them? Pull them out. Have a look at the colours that I've got. These aren't all the ABs that I've got. These were just the handy ones. I do have some in my spare storage. I am actually thinking of revamping how I store my ABs to help this challenge throughout the year. And that will come in a future video. So I'm going to change up how I store them so that I can have them as your visual, as a reminder, and I can I'm going to try and consciously remember to pull them out. And you guys help me with this, because if I forget, you'll give me a little kick. So come June, July, if I keep forgetting to pull out my ABs and actually do that check, then I'm sure you guys will let me know. But yeah, I want to pull them out and have a look. The decision may be that it's not going to work for the painting I'm working on, and that's fine because I've checked. But I think throughout the year, I will at least get a few paintings in where I change up the diamonds a little bit and give it my own little spin. And then I may do it in the future with the likes of rhinestones. I may bring them in. I'm starting with the likes of primarily ABs, but I'll also keep the neon ones about and the glow in the dark, because that's quite a nice one to change up. And we'll see how it goes. So, questions for you. Have you set up any craft challenges or goals for yourself this year? Think small. Think, something that you would like to do, whether it be finishing a particular painting, or maybe you want to do a Heaven and Earth Designs. Maybe you want to start that process. Don't set yourself a goal to finish one. There are many people that could do it and could finish it. And if you're that type of goal orientated, then, don't listen to me. But if you maybe want to do the likes of a Heaven and Earth Design, maybe your goal should be to start that process and do a little bit of that process each month of the year. So maybe 1 month, January, you want to set the goal to have picked your design. February, you want to have set the goal to have established what diamonds you need. Maybe you would put a purchase in for some diamonds in March, your canvas in April, and set yourself little baby steps if you want to do something huge. Or maybe that is not your cup of tea at all, and you just have a painting that you want to finish because you love it. Set yourself just a mini little goal or challenge, but remember, you can always change that goal or challenge if something happens in life that you're not aware of when you set it. Anyway, I hope you'll join me, and remind me if I forget to check my ABs and things when I kit up. Even if I have already consciously made the decision that I'm not putting any ABs in a comparison, for example, I will try and still make sure that I say that, so you guys know that I have had that thought process. And we'll see if Minions gets finished, and I stick to that because I've got so many large paintings here that I'm itching to do. But maybe that will make me get this one finished. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.